So today we're going to be going over 10 fragrances that are still worth the hype in 2021. So you'll find that a lot of these were released 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus years ago. And even though they were released quite a while ago, and in the hobby of fragrance, we're getting so many new fragrance releases every day, a lot of times fragrances, if they aren't really strong and popular, they'll go out of trend, they'll get buried, and people won't really talk about them. Most of these here are well known, and in my opinion, they're well deserved to be in the spotlight. We got everything from cheapies to more expensive ones, but these are all on the designer side. And I will provide links to all these fragrances down below. If you want to check any of these out or pick any of them up and grab them at a nice discount, you can hit those links down there. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. 10 fragrances that are still worth the hype in 2021. First up, we have Montblanc Legend Night. This is a really solid Legend flanker, and it's a lot different than the other fragrances in the line. This one has vanilla, apple, lavender, and cardamom as a few of the main notes in here, making this one a much sweeter version of Legend. Legend is a musky, fresh, clean scent. I'm sure most of you are aware of it. Of course, I'm kind of preaching to the choir here. But this one, a little bit sweeter. Gets compared to a few fragrances, one of which being something like Armani Co Profumo. There's a little bit of a similarity there. This definitely has a very sweet profile, has a bit of a playful, young type of smell coming from all of that sweetness, which is kind of similar to Armani Co Profumo. So it does share some similarities with fragrances like that and some other really sweet but also really popular designer fragrances. So while it's not something that stands out on its own and is unique, it is a really good flanker because it does set itself apart from the Legend line, which those are already even more popular. This one's also a cheapie. You could have it for around $30, I believe, and it also is a good performer. Will last on your skin all day. It will project pretty strong, and it'll work perfect in the cooler months. It could also work in spring and fall as well. And this bottle here is a tester, indicated by that sticker there. It does say tester, but it did come with the cap. Second up, we have L'Envol de Cartier by Cartier. This is the Eau de Parfum. Fantastic fragrance and a really, really cool bottle. I'm sure you guys have seen this one around a little bit. Maybe it's one that you kind of don't pay too much attention to, but in my opinion, this is a really, really nice fragrance. Very classy, very upscale, very masculine and sexy. This one has musk, honey, iris, and gaiac wood as a few of the main notes here. So it's a little bit powdery, it's a little bit warm, it's a little bit sweet, it's a little bit woody. It just has a bit more of a classy, mature profile like I was talking about a second ago, meaning this one is a polar opposite to Montblanc Legend Night. That one's very youthful, playful. This one is going to be on the opposite end of the spectrum, someone who wants to be a bit more refined, a bit more well put together, a bit more dressed up. This one will have you covered. It's a Cartier, so it has great quality. It's got a great name attached to it, and they have some amazing, amazing fragrances. This being one of them right here. Again, the bottle is cool. It's very dainty because of the glass. This is actual glass on the outside, so you do have to be careful with this one, but it does have some pretty cool details. For example, in order to access the atomizer, that twists up and down. I think that's pretty cool. I do like the bottle. You do have to be careful with it, but it is still kind of cool. There's nothing else out there like this, which makes it pretty unique. In my opinion, it's a fantastic fragrance that definitely doesn't quite get the recognition that it deserves, and even now in 2021, it should still be getting some talk and some love. Next up, we have Ferragamo Parfum by Dior. Fantastic flanker. Easily my favorite flanker that I've tried. There's a few that are the discontinued ones that I can't seem to find anywhere online. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten to try those, like Fahrenheit Absolute. I really want that one, but I can't find it, so I haven't tried it. But from the ones that I have tried, this is my favorite. It has vanilla, violet leaf, suede, and rum as a few of the main notes here. So you do get that kind of gasoline, petrol type of smell that you get from the original Fahrenheit coming from that violet leaf. But immediately following that is this nice warm vanilla, this kind of boozy, sexy rum behind it, and this nice kind of leathery, smooth suede note, now just giving it a bit more of a masculine touch. This stuff is well done to the max. The quality is untouchable for a designer fragrance, and the uniqueness on top of that is even better. Great, great fragrance here. Definitely worth every bit of hype and all of the love that you can give it. This stuff is so, so good. And who knows if this one's going to be around forever. They've discontinued a lot of their flankers. So I would recommend, if you have any sort of interest, grab one of these at a discounter while you can. Following that, we have Bentley For Men Absolute. This one has cedarwood, olibanum, pink pepper, and papyrus as a few of the main notes here in this one. So basically, to break it down, it has this very dry, woody type of smell, coming from the cedarwood and coming from the papyrus. Most notably, those two notes are giving it that dry, almost pine needles touch with this very prominent woodiness. Kind of gets compared to like pencil shavings, I've heard people say before, which isn't too far off the mark there. It does give you that vibe a little bit, but it is very, very well done. It's sexy. It's got this mysterious touch about it, and it is borderline a niche fragrance in terms of the scent and how it smells. This one, if you're unaware, is very similar to Gucci Pour Homme 1, the original Gucci Pour Homme with the orange colored fragrance. That one was created when Tom Ford was the creative director of Gucci. That's when some of the best fragrances for men of all time were made, in my opinion. Gucci Envy, Gucci Pour Homme 1, some of the best out there. Unfortunately, you can't get that Gucci anymore, so if you want to get close to it without spending a ton of money on a bottle on eBay, this right here is the way to go. Gorgeous fragrance. I love this stuff. It's very well done. I do have a sample of the original Gucci, and this one gets you pretty close. I mean, it is honestly pretty impressive how close this one gets. Fantastic one here. Worth all the hype. Amazing stuff. Following that, we have Missoni Parfum. This one has grapefruit, ginger, lemon, and lavender as the few of the main notes. So it may ring a bell for you. You may be thinking of a fragrance like, for example, Bleu de Chanel. As far as I'm aware, there is no incense note listed on this one, and really smelling it, I don't get really an incense note. I do get a spicy ginger, kind of similar to Bleu de Chanel. Of course, the grapefruit, the lemon, the citrus, that sort of thing will sound similar to it, even though there are tons and tons of fragrances that use grapefruit, not just Bleu de Chanel. But you will see talk about this one smelling similar to Bleu de Chanel. And honestly, I do get the comparison a little bit. I don't think it's as close as maybe some people make it out to be. It's definitely not a clone. While it probably does draw inspiration from Bleu de Chanel, it goes in its own direction. A bit more emphasis on like the birch and some other woods in here, whereas Bleu de Chanel really for me is all about that grapefruit incense combination and a little bit of a modern woodiness. This one kind of has just a bit of a different feel, a bit of a different thing going on. So this is not really too redundant to own if you already have Bleu de Chanel. This one is much more affordable than that one and still quite a bit different. But it is a really nice versatile scent. It's masculine, it's sexy, it's long lasting, and it's just one that you could wear for any situation, any time of the year. Just a scent that works, pulls great compliments. In my opinion, this one is a bit overlooked, but it's worth it. Nice to have around in your collection. Missoni Parfum. Following along, we have Yves Saint Laurent Y Eau de Parfum. This one has apple, amberwood, and sage as a few of the main notes. So for me, I always get like a lavender type of smell from this one, but I really do think it probably is coming from the sage. It's kind of this clean, smooth type of smell. The amberwood gives it that ambroxan, almost slightly bubblegummy, sweet blue fragrance type of thing. And then the apple is very strong, not only in the opening, but even into the dry down. The apple note used in here is a bit of a sweeter apple as well, and that's what's lending to the fruitiness that you get throughout the entirety of the scent. This one is kind of playful, kind of young smelling, but still has a lot of versatility to it. One that you can wear in the summertime, one that you can even wear in the dead of winter time like right now. It's just going to work all year round. It's got very, very strong performance, especially for a blue fragrance. Out of the entire line, in my opinion, the Eau de Parfum is the way to go. The Eau de Toilette is a great smelling scent. In fact, that's obviously where this came from, but it doesn't perform that great. Y Live is kind of a redundant flanker, in my opinion. I'm not really the biggest fan of Y Live. Y Eau Fresh is great, but Eau de Parfum, best performance, best versatility, and just really is the way to go. And it is a great fragrance to have around. If you just want something to have as a dumb reach, something you don't have to think about, you just grab this one off the shelf, spray it on, and go do whatever you want to do. Date, work, school, whatever. This one will have you covered. Now even, it was worth the hype when it first came out, and it still is now in 2021. Nice different take on the blue fragrance DNA. Let's keep going here. Up next we have Dolce & Gabbana The One Grey. This one has grapefruit, vetiver, cardamom, and tobacco as a few of the main notes in this one. So you do still get some of that Dolce & Gabbana The One DNA in here, but with a bit more of a vetiver freshness, a bit more of a grapefruit freshness up top, and really it's just going to be less spicy and warm and sweet like Dolce & Gabbana The One Eau de Toilette Eau de Parfum is going to be, making this one great just in the daytime, and it could be kind of leaning casual as well if you wanted it to, but it would also be a great formal office scent as well. Really, the original Dolce & Gabbana, the one, can be worn to the office. I mean, it's very versatile, really suited for dates in my opinion, but it can be done. But if you want to save that one for date nights and special occasions in the evening, and you still really like the DNA, the One Grey would be a fantastic choice to wear to the office. It's not too loud, it's not too overly kind of inviting and alluring. It's still got that freshness to it, making this one just great for work, school, whatever. Really nice one that doesn't get a whole lot of talk. I mean, it is overshadowed by the much more popular and successful The One Eau de Parfum and the Eau de Toilette as well, but this one is pretty solid. It's a nice one to have around, and I do believe it is one of the cheapest flankers. I think you can get this one for around $40 or so on discounters for 100 ml. Really nice fragrance here, especially for the price. Following that, we have a Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Parfum. This one has vanilla, iris, tolu balsam, and black pepper. So for me, it really is all about that iris and the vanilla. The black pepper up top gives it a spiciness, which is a great way to open up this scent. Kind of spicy kick up top, smells awesome, and get your attention right away. And then comes the iris, giving it a bit of this slightly sweet, powdery, floral touch. And of course the vanilla really just kind of giving it this warm, sexy, inviting smell. This is another one that's great in fall or winter. It's great for evenings out. You can have this one for around $50 or so on discounters, which is a great deal. You'll find that this one gets compared to a few fragrances, Dior Homme Intense and Valentino Uomo Intense. Both of those are much more expensive. And actually the Valentino Uomo Intense, I do believe that one is oftentimes really hard to find on discounters. It's out of stock a lot. And of course the Dior is just much more expensive, about double the price. You can get this one for, $50 or so, depending on the deals. It's also a bit more mass appealing than the other two that I just mentioned. Just more focus on the vanilla, giving it a bit more of a sweet kind of mass appealing touch. Really nice one to have around. If you want a nice entry-level iris scent, great for dates and evenings, Gentleman Eau de Parfum is a fantastic pickup. Speaking of iris, we do have to throw in this guy right here. This is Prada L'Homme. We have iris, neroli, violet, amber, and geranium. So the iris is going to be the main player. If you ask anyone what Prada L'Homme is all about, basically everyone's going to tell you iris, and that would be correct. You do get a little bit of a floral neroli touch as well, so it's pretty floral heavy from the iris, the neroli. Following along with that, you do get a little bit of geranium. It kind of gives this slight green mintiness in the opening. The amber gives it a little bit of a kind of warm, powdery sweetness as well. It's a really pretty balanced scent, but it is focused on the florals like I mentioned. So this isn't going to be for everyone, but if you do want a soapy clean floral fragrance for men, Prada L'Homme really is one of the best out there. There aren't a whole lot of florals that I like for men, but this one is one that I really do enjoy. I would say probably this one and like Amouage Reflection Man are probably two of my favorite men's florals. Really well done stuff. Great for the office, great for school, great for work, great for whatever. That is Prada L'Homme. And last fragrance for today, we have Ferragamo Uomo Signature. This one has coffee, tonka bean, leather, and cinnamon as a few of the notes in this one. Really well done scent. One of my favorites. Similar to the original Uomo, because it is very sweet and the tonka bean carries over from the original, but what this one adds to that original DNA is the coffee and the leather. The coffee gives it this nice kind of warm roasted sexiness. The leather gives it a bit more of a masculine touch, because fragrances that are this sweet sometimes may lean a little bit feminine, because perfumes for women are oftentimes very sweet. The original Uomo is kind of pushing it a little bit. The leather addition to this one does give it a bit more of a masculine, sexy touch. Awesome stuff. My favorite flanker from the line, and one that's worth the hype 100%. It's affordable as well, $30, $35 or so, maybe $40 on discount or somewhere around in there. It's been getting hyped a little bit, so I think the prices have gone up. Still worth it though. Ferragamo, they make some great fragrances, and this is one of them. So guys, that's going to do it for me. That was 10 fragrances that are still worth the hype in 2021. Let me know what you think, and if you want to grab any of these, the links will be down below. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.